they have the pixel glitch back. It really hit me today. Was it the second clip?
Could I get an invite?
Whoa, Sharky with a new mic?
Yep.
Nice.
Holy shit, we can hear him.
Oh, damn, son.
About it on Prime Day.
Nice. Oh wait, why am I creating a game?
Can
He's
actually hear you.
yeah, clear as fuck right now.
Yeah, I know, man. There it is.
Nice.
You'll have to share what model you got, dude, because you're crisp.
Oh yeah, I'll do it. I'll do that. It's got like USB and XLR. I don't intend to use the XLR, but it's good to have. I'll send the link I used.
Thanks, someone. For some reason, the search just kept going, never came back.
Yeah, I had that issue too.
Sharky, you sound like a singer before you start. You know, we do a speech before you start singing a song.
Oh, say.
The fact that Chucky ran with that. He should have sang some Frank Sinatra type of song.
Fly me to the moon.
I guess we're ready to roll, right?
We are.
Yeah.
Next player,
So
3-3 with the team.
it's Logan, Munsif, and Faso. Switch and let's go.
All right.
Next.
Sharky, you ready for this?
Yep.
Uh,
I was kind of hoping W would join us to keep me honest and bring on the pressure.
Uh, I don't remember the colors.
Gray's in the back, orange, purple, teal. Oh, wow. Ooh, we got Incas. Logan is Huns. Careful about that. Munsif is Portuguese. Vassals, Aztecs. So we gotta watch out for Eagles too.
You don't need pikes early. Sharky.
Pikes. All right.
Yes, you have
Because
the
Logan's got Huns.
Niam, Tayarichi, Im, Tayarichi, Tayarichi, Kamachiwai, Tayarichi, Tayarichi, Tayarichi.
Just FYI, I can't build scouts, so.
Ari, Niam, Ari, Im, William, Tayarichi, Tayarichi,
Galactic Jaco.
Im, Tayarichi, Tayarichi, Tayarichi.
Gorilla. Galactic. Antipe. Galactic.
Logan has his first scout out.
Gorilla. Galactic. Gorilla. Jaco.
Q scout.
Kamachiwai, Tayarichi, Ari, Tayarichi,
Got one Eagle warrior out and about. Two of them out and about. Everyone's got a couple halberdiers over here.
Niam, Tayarichi,
Saw a lot of halberdiers, a couple skirms.
Kamachiwai, Tayarichi,
Building a second TC back here. Small buildup of halberdiers here. Vassal has a barracks right here.
Ari. Sayarichi. 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 Im. Sayari. Niam. Sayarichi.
Munsif's trying to build a TC over here.
Sharky, you gotta move up, brother.
Hold on, yeah, I'm contesting. Let's see.
Okay.
Dominating at least 3 stone patches now. And I have second TC up.
Sayarichi.
Building a third TC right here.
Ari. Niam. Sayarichi. Im. Sayarichi. Sayarichi. Niam. Sayarichi. Ari. Sayarichi. Sayarichi. Niam. Sayarichi. Sayarichi. Sayarichi.
Munsif still hasn't gotten that TC up in the back, sending another eagle to scout. Logan's clearing out the wolves right here. See what's going on over there. Yeah, I see some villagers coming this way. Yeah, we got Logan trying to build a TC. I denied the TC, but lost most of the standing force there. Got Vassals trying to come in with some eagles. Logan's on stone here.
Chihuahua. Purita.
Logan has a lot of skirms and halves here.
Ari. Sayarichi. Niam. Im. Sayarichi. Ari. Sayarichi. Sayarichi. Chihuahua. Sayarichi. Kamachiwa, Sayari.
Jay, Gorilla, 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 Gorilla.
Sharky, how you doing, man?
Building up. I've dominated a few stone patches between me and Munsif. Going to try and raid that last stone patch. He hasn't really touched it, so I'm going to move forward on it.
Chiwa, Sayarichi.
I am sending a villager your way to build a TC in your area.
Sayarichi.
Okay, so we do have. Let's see. So I do see Munsif rushing on here. Let's see.
Building a siege workshop here, so I can pressure right here.
Jay, Gorilla, Jaco. Jay, Jaco, Gorilla, Gorilla, Jaco, active, Jay, Gorilla, Jay, Gorilla, Jay, Jaco, Jay, Gorilla, active, Jay, Jay, active,
Okay, I have one siege ram up in my siege workshop. Building a castle right here. Sending the rams forward.
We have an attack here, but I think, yeah, so it should be manageable.
Logan's CC is down.
We still keep sending rams, but I think I can manage that.
Chibokan. Sayarichi. Sayarichi.
Let's see if we can get an Eagle Warrior up. I don't see much in the way of forces here, so I'm gonna keep pushing forward.
Yum. Sayarichi.
Logan's Victoria is going down. Logan's Victoria is down. Logan's CC just went down.
Activate. Jay. Jay, Torilla.
Ari. Sayarich.
Mia, Burita, Urdu.
Sayarich.
Jay. Jay. Ari. Jay. Ari. Jay. Jaco. Activate. Jay. Jay. Ari. Jay. Activate. Ari. Activate. Jay. Jay. Utia. Ari. Jay. Activate. Ari. Torja. Ari. Jay. Torja. Utia. Ari. Activate. Jay. Torja. Ari. Utia. Jay. Torja.
How'd you do, Sharky?
I held off Munsif.
That's good.
Alright. Speak your mind, Logan.
Well, Saman and Chrome kind of teamed up on me, and Fassel was a little too slow to help me, although partly my bad for not calling for support. But the thing is, like, you caught it though, Fassel. Like, we were skirmishing, and then when I called the second player coming in, it's kind of a tell that, well, who's pushing and stuff. And the fact that Chrome's kind of keeping me at bay while Saman's able to create siege rams, and I cannot just like immediately build siege rams as well or whatever. Like, all my resources are going to defending. And because I was on my back foot, I mean, especially the first, I mean, like, I was definitely pushing a little bit, but once Saman kind of pushed back and Blue joined, it's definitely a push coming. And then just didn't get that support. And I'm sure Moonsif was off. Like, feel like he was just hitting Sharky, so they're off in that. I don't know.
Yeah, you kind of made the mistake. You don't want just Munsif around. You don't want just. You don't want to be just have Munsif in front of Sharky, because Sharky is a weak point that you guys should be to some extent taking advantage of. And so the issue is that with your Hun's capability, how much of that was really leveraged to create pressure in another place? Because, for example, you didn't really do that, because here's the thing: the stone and the resources there in the front didn't really matter, because they were going to be contested anyway. Like, that wasn't going to be really the issue. The issue was always going to be from Munsif's side. How much help were you going to give him to create a lot of pressure on the weak side? And you didn't do that. Instead, you just kind of moved forward naturally to a the front area, and then what were you going to do there? I mean, that whole area was going to be contested anyway. So you weren't going to do yourself any favor by putting your TC over there to collect stone there. Like, it was going to be contested, right? So the question is that if you had Huns and you had an early advantage, how were you going to best use your advantage? I guess, like, that would be the question there.
Well, the question I have is, you keep saying contestation, but, like, how, if I'm not there, how do we contest it?
I'm just saying that you're
like, it's gonna be just someone can just walk right through middle.
No,
so, and then Fassel's gonna be trapped on the right. So I don't see how.
I'm just saying that if you're Huns that doesn't build houses and we have a weak player, why wouldn't you exploit that? That's what I want to know. Forget about contesting. How about that? You have the fastest calves out there before anyone can actually really get pikes out. And the distance between, and so, for example, if you target somebody specifically, especially a player that you know is super slow, I think you could probably get a lot of games. But instead, that didn't happen, and you weren't even thinking about it. So,
well, no, the thing is, why? I mean, yes, sure, we can do that all day, but the problem is, it's Sharky. I'm not gonna just take him out of the game. I mean, that's not fun for him.
The biggest problem is what you're saying, for at least this particular game, was, bro, you were Huns. You didn't even try to leverage that.
It's like someone has like advantage, like GOTS, like you have an advantage in infantry, but you decide to build cavalry.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
weird.
in the beginning, someone mentioned, "Oh, Logan's Huns, so watch out for something," but didn't happen at least on my end.
Didn't happen on my end either.
Well, no, because the thing is that Logan sent his scouts, right? Except where he ended up sending scouts first was not necessarily Sharky's side. He sent scouts straight up and then to my side. Problem is, we had pikes already, so he couldn't really do much other than scout. The thing is that he needed to look at the slowest player and be like, okay, what is it that we can do to basically give an advantage so that it forces the attention of the middle player instead of fighting mid. His attention will now be forced on a pressure cooker that's cooking up because Munsif is creating pressure that now, because the Sharky is slowed, it's going to be very hard for him to contest. You see, like Sharky would never be just on his own being able to hold off Munsif or anything when you actually do have a slight advantage. Actually, you have a decent advantage over there on that side. So it's like all these initial things that you can have done to kind of give Munsif like a leg up that just, and then Munsif can roll. I mean, once Munsif rolls, then Munsif is rolling, is just giving him a leg up using the disadvantages of your Civ to be able to do that. I mean, it wasn't really going to be about like big time fighting in center anyway. Like that's not what you were going to do, because what you needed to do actually on your side, Logan, I mean, I'm just speaking to you, but I'm actually speaking to the team. You needed to buy facile time. The best way to buy facile time is to turn Salman's attention somewhere else. And the best way to do that is to use the advantage of your Civ to put pressure on the weakest player. And then Salman can't, low key, he has to help. He has to really help. Like, at a minimum, you've got him fighting in two places, which makes it a bit easier to deal with contesting up front, given the fact that Munsif is tunneled and is rolling Sharky. I mean, Salman is then caught between two places. Shall I commit mid and let Sharky fall? Shall I help Sharky and kind of do mid, but then he's not he's on a defensive stance and he cannot be offensive or oppressive. But hey, that's something that you needed to take advantage of, that you guys had a great advantage actually. So whatever. Every game presents its different challenge, but I'm just saying, like, this was a game to fully leverage the civs. I think you guys used civs before too, like when you guys are meso civs. You guys have used Eagle Warriors and things of that nature before. So it's not like you haven't used the advantage of the civ. I mean, by the way, just because it happened this game, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen next game, right? Like next game's going to be, it'll have its own civs and it'll be different. But in this game, at least, man, the Huns thing was super damn. Like that was the play. So unfortunately or fortunately, whatever. Now next time you have Huns and you have like a Civ that doesn't have too many issues early, like what you can kind of do to mitigate that, right? So the narrative of, well, I wouldn't be in a position to contest, suddenly the conversation has changed, because the view from the other team is, holy crap, my guy is just going to get rolled, because Munsif doesn't give a shit, he's going straight for him. Like, Salman has to make a call. You would make Salman choose. In this game, you never made Salman choose, so it was easy. You know what I mean? And then, interestingly enough, I guess, Sharky kind of
I was going straight for the resources, not Sharky, but he was in the way, so I didn't have to.
He was in the way. He was in the way. I was going straight for the resources, and yeah, he was in the way.
That's the best.
Man, I hope we can stream cut this, because that's the best verbiage I've heard thus far. Speech. He was just in the way. Roadblock. He was just in the way. Took him out. Anyway, that's what it was. So, whatever. Learn, fail, move on. Doesn't matter. But now you're gonna be able to collectively use that information, right? Similarly, when someone's on the other side, or when somebody else has an advantage, then you guys are always like telling each other, hey, guys, the guy's Huns, like, come on, careful. The only player that you can actively say that is not going to do anything is me. I'm never going to really, even with a rush early civ, I'm not the one who's sending units to do hella exploits and whatever. Like, that's not what I'm doing. I've never done that. So that's that.
Does that address your concern, Gordon?
Sure.
Okay, because I just want to make sure that if for some reason we're in a scenario where blue is joining green, right? That just doesn't turn into a lose your composure time, right? I mean, we need to. I think from our side, we definitely nobody, neither Munsif nor necessarily Logan, communicated that there were fighting. It was just secondarily observed. Actually, Logan observed that Munsif was going at it with Sharky. Munsif hadn't announced that to the team. Similarly, when Logan was going up against Salman, um, we were always talking in previous games about trigger points, right? Like, okay, you have one opportunity to do something, and if you squander that opportunity, the opposing team ain't just bitches chilling; they're coming for you. All right, so if you trigger them, and now there's a concerted punishment coming back, like it really stands to reason that your team should know that you're basically lobbed a couple of Molotov cocktails into their area, and you're hauling ass back, being chased by both the guys, and we do something about it, right? So I think one of the things that bothered me about the last game is Munsif was conducting a fight scenario in isolation on his own with Sharky. Logan was kind of doing his, so one of the things I've always had an issue with, I think, and Logan, you're free to respond to this, is there's this whole idea about trying to get to the resources and denying other people resources, and that's it. That's the game. Like, nobody remembers that the Pretoria is the objective. There's no discussion about, hey guys, let's gather here, let's create a concerted force here, and then let's go hit the Pretorias, right? So in each way, somebody is like saying, I want that daggone stone. I'm going to start, contesting for it. I don't think that's the objective of the game. So I think we should just make that clear for both teams to understand that the objective of the game, yes, it may involve not just handing over the resources in the middle, but that's definitely not the primary game. And the entire game shouldn't revolve around, stalemating out in mid, because there's a shit ton of back and forth just so that to see who gets the patch, right? So that's my opinion. That's what I think happened in the last game that left me very kind of unhappy with the way things went down. And as far as like me, I was trying to establish a footprint in Munsif's side, so that we could carry out some Pretoria related attacks. But like I said, meanwhile, whatever's going on between Sulman and Logan, and then basically Logan flipped out that Blue joined, and basically the rest was the channel just being like, this is bullshit, Blue joining in, it just basically is a game ender, right? So my question is that how do we avoid this basically this spasming and spasting out, which is, okay, well, check this shit out. Blue's just here, joined green. It's game over, guys. Game over. Right? So what's the story there? We need to understand, necessarily what happened. Of course, you guys are going to give me some explanation, like why Blue joined, especially when Blue says Blue doesn't join in general. But, for especially the push to end, that doesn't even make sense. So, maybe Salman, maybe you could chime in a little bit. What specifically caused you to react strongly toward Logan there?
So there was a couple things. First off, what caused my reaction was he built the town center right on the stone. So you know I'm not just gonna let it go up. And the cost that he had to do that he paid to get that TC up, that hurt him a lot. I don't think he realized it quite how much, but it hurt him a lot. And then Khurram didn't really step in until I said, there's some Eagle Warriors and pikemen from you, Vassal, that are, attacking me and harassing me right now. So that's kind of when Khurram actually showed up a little bit. And then I kind of saw an opportunity to attack Logan, so I built up a siege workshop. We went together. I wasn't expecting him to go with me, but he did. And Vessel, you came to help defend. So it wasn't just a one-sided 2 versus 1 from what I'm hearing on your guys' side. From my point of view, it was a 2 versus 2 scenario going on there. My problem with my team, or in this particular case, Sharky, I know for a fact Sharky heard me calling out, I'm doing this, Logan's got this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go scout this, I'm going to do this. And for the most part, Sharky was quiet. I didn't know what was going on that side, to be honest. I kind of knew that him and Munsif were having a scuffle, but that's because I had to ask him, like, hey, you doing all right over there? What's going on? Asking him questions. So that's my input for Sharky. It's like, I don't know what's going on with you, bro. I checked early game to make sure you were building a barracks so you could get some pikemen, saboteers out, just so that you'd be safe from a hunt attack, which I was prepped for. So that was that. And then once that TC went, Logan's TC and mid went, he just fell apart. That's what happened. His TC and mid went down, he fell apart. So your entire mid just fell apart.
By the way, Logan, was that your second TC there? By the way, just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah, no good.
That's too much pain.
Don't do second TC there, like at all. Actually, going forward, I don't want. It's not a UU thing. It's anyone. I don't want anyone doing a second TC there. It's so hotly contested, or some shit happens, and then you just completely collapse after that. It's like you can't keep up. Like you just can't. So I wouldn't do that. I would make that like, even if you wanted to, I would do it as a third TC. But as a third TC, you would know that that's a trigger point, like for anybody, like really. Like probably if it's a mining camp, you're gonna get like a raiders. You're gonna get a bunch of raiders. If you're gonna get a TC, you're probably getting somebody who's gonna want to take it out. So probably some kind of siege is gonna be involved somewhere. So I'm just saying, like, you got to kind of keep that in mind a bit. That's just general for everybody. So it's kind of like, like you build a building, but you don't have units, and somebody else has. They just have an advantage in time, and they're that's working towards them to come and take it out. On the flip side, if you're actually baiting them, you could actually do that because you have like you'll win the battle. Like, you will, right? So there's that you can potentially do, but at this point, I would say it's if there was ever a TC that you wanted to ever build, knowing that the moment you do that will invite trouble, you'd do that as a third. You would just never do it as a second. It's just too taxing on you. So there's that.
And then the amount of villagers he lost building it too.
Yeah, I mean that hurts, especially that early, Logan. Like if that was your second TC and you had 5, I think, villagers, or maybe 6.
It's 7.
7. So if you lose those, holy shit! Like you are behind. Like I'm telling you, you're way behind. Like there's no way you can keep up with any. Like even if I'm not there, like 0, like me 0, you're dead. Like you're dead. Because Salman's sitting on 3 TCs, brother. Like he's sitting on 3 and you're on 1 going on 2, and the second one's contested, you're screwed. You're screwed, you're done. So the blue thing it's irrelevant. Like over time anyway, you're dead. So I think that's what you have to kind of like make sure that that's not what you're doing. So that's kind of important. And the other thing is that I saw you scout once or twice, but I didn't see you scout then after that. What happened? Because at some point, I think you just send horses to the skirmishers.
Yeah, that's what happened.
They were scouts, or they were like your cavalry.
They were supposed to be scouts, but I guess I needed them.
Okay. Yeah. So no. Like based on what the unit composition was there, I would have never charged into the skirmishers anyway. I would have just moved them back because you were like, oh shit, they got pikes and skirms, and I don't have enough quantity, and Fassel's not here in good numbers yet. So you know what? Move my ass back. There's nothing I can do. Actually, you would buy time in that situation, knowing that more than likely you're going to lose that TC where you're building a TC somewhere else. And the other thing I would also suggest is, again, there's the map's a big old map. There's all this other side where you have a big advantage on where potential resources are also available. So it's not like you're stuck to that one place. The bottom line is you don't want to be for the lifeline of what you're relying on. You don't want that to be in a contested area, if that makes sense. Like you just don't want it to be there because more than likely, like I was telling you, usually you'll probably expect mining camp, villagers, some kind of raiding, some kind of something that's going to happen to those villagers. Like that's what you can basically expect. To provide protection for them, you built a TC, but the problem is that now you're asking for someone to build some siege because they'll want to take that TC out. So they're already getting. I would say this: you're probably less triggered by a mining camp than you are with a TC troop. Even for you, if someone built a lumber camp next to you or a mining camp, you'd be like, yeah, whatever. If someone builds a TC next to you, you're like, oh hell no, I'm taking the shit out now. Your whole mission is you want to take it out. So think about that. Think about what you're projecting, and then figure out okay, well maybe this is not going to work for me. So I don't think we should. I don't think I should be able to do that. Sure, are you in? Who is that? Who did I hear join?
Yes, show.
I can't see Discord.
It's show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure, I'm here.
All right, cool. So yeah. So other than that, I mean,
I think Shoaib's trying to talk, but I can't hear him.
Oh, he's probably self-censoring. Get in the game, guys.